Hi guys, I'm Rosie. So today I'm going to be running you through a stretch and I hope you guys follow along and enjoy it. So first of all we're going to have our feet shoulder width apart and we're just going to take our head to the right. Make sure you're engaging the core in this position, standing up tall, shoulders back, chest up, and then taking to the head to the left. And looking up. And down. And we're just going to shrug the shoulders backwards. And shoulders going forwards. And then we're going to circle the arms backwards. So nice big arm circles, reaching all the way to the ceiling and going backwards. And then circling the arms forwards. And one arm one way, one arm the other way. So there's normally one side which is quite difficult to do. And then changing directions. And then we're going to go into hip circles. So little circles to begin with, and then gradually getting bigger with the circles. And pushing the hips all the way to the front of the room and then all the way to the back. And changing direction, so starting off little circles and then gradually getting bigger. And standing up, arms out to the side, and we're just going to lean over to one side. So make sure in this position that you're not sticking your bottom out, you're not pushing the hips forwards, you should be in line with the wall. And you're going to bring the hand to the wall in front of you, flatten down the back. And reaching the hands either side of the foot, chest flat down to the leg. Trying to keep the legs straight in this position. And we're going to bring the weight into the middle. Again, try and keep the weight for the front of the feet, keeping the legs straight and reaching as far down to the floor as you can, reaching the hands backwards if you're flat down to the ground. And reaching the hand either side of the foot, legs should be straight, chest flat down to the leg. Reaching the hand to the wall in front of you, back should be flat. And finally, arms out to the side and reaching over. And we're going to stand up, bring the legs together, arms up to the ceiling. We're going to come into a pike fold. So we're going to walk the hands down the legs and trying to get as far down to the ground as you can. Then you're going to try and grab behind the back of the ankles and pull the chest into the legs. Again, try and keep the legs straight if you can. The weight should be through the front of the feet for more of a stretch. And we're going to walk the hands up the legs, curving of the spine, bring the head up last, reaching the arms up to the ceiling. And we're going to repeat again, so walking the hands down to the floor this time. And you should feel that stretch behind the back of the hamstrings. Just try and pull the chest as close into the legs as possible. And we'll hold for another 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, walking the hands up the legs, curving up the spine. Bring the head up last, and then the arms, and then we're coming down to the ground. So we're going to stretch out the wrists. So hands are starting forwards, and we're going to lean the weight forwards. Then we're going to change the direction of the hands to the side, and leaning over to one side. And the other side. Hands facing towards the body, and then leaning backwards. trying to keep the heel of the hands on the ground. And then we're going to turn the hands over and lightly press down on them. And relax. So we're going to come into a straddle stretch, so legs are going out to the side. We're trying to keep the legs flat down to the ground. Arms are going to come out to the side, and we're just going to reach the hand over to the foot and trying to rotate that body, so you should feel it stretching at the obliques. Trying to look up at the ceiling if you can. Obviously I'm pretty flexible, but just, you know, try and get to where you can. So some people might be like here, some people might be all the way flat down to the leg. And then we're going to bring the hands either side of the foot, and again we're trying to get the chest as close down to the leg as you can. So again, you might be more like up here, and if you feel that stretching, that's fine. If you're more flexible, then you might be closer down to the leg. And we're going to stay as low down to the ground as possible, coming through the middle to the other leg. Again, try and keep the knees flat down to the ground if you can. And then taking the arms out to the side, and we're going to reach over. So try and rotate that body, looking up to the ceiling. And reaching the arms up. We're going to lower down to the ground. So again, trying to get as close down to the ground as you can. Elbows flat to the floor, or if you want a bit more of a stretch, try and get the hands and the arms flat down to the ground, again depending on your flexibility, so don't push it too hard, and just try and relax into this position. So we're going to hold for 20 seconds. Deep breaths in and out, and with each breath trying to get a little bit closer down to the ground. And 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to reach the arms up, bring the legs together, and in this position we're going to do hip hinge lowers. So we're going to keep the back as straight as we can, and we're going to hinge at the hip, lowering down to the legs and then back up, and we're just going to do 10. So you probably won't find that you can get too low if you keep that back perfectly straight. 1, 2, 3, keeping the arms up by the ears, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and on this last one we're going to lower all the way down, so trying to reach to the feet, trying to get the chest flat down to the legs, and pulling the chest as close down to the legs as you can. And we're going to hold for another 10 seconds, so if you can, try and reach the hands beyond the feet, get a bit more of a stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reaching the arms to the ceiling, and let's go into a shoulder stretch. So hands are going to be facing towards the body for this. You're going to walk the body away from the arms, the elbows should be bent, and you should feel that stretch in the anterior delts, so the front of the shoulders. If you can't feel this stretching, then just try and walk the body a little bit further away from the elbows and the shoulders. And we're going to change the direction of the hands. So hands should be facing backwards, arms are going to be straight, and again we're just going to walk them away from the body, and then if you can, try and link the little fingers together to get more of a stretch. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, walking hands up, and we're coming to a chest arm swing, so just swing the arms across the chest. And we stretch out the triceps, so bringing one elbow above the head and pressing down on that elbow. changing sides. And relax, and we're just going to go into an ankle stretch. So still sitting upright, crossing one foot over the knee and grabbing hold of that foot, just coming into some nice ankle circles. Changing the direction of the foot. And let's change over to the other side. Just make sure you're sitting up nice and tall in this position. Again, focusing on posture throughout this session. And changing to the other direction. And relax. We're going to come into a pigeon stretch. So crossing one foot and leg in front of the body. We're focusing on pushing this back hip flexor down to the ground, and then we're going to lower the chest down to the ground. So you should feel it stretching the outer glute. And we're just going to hold this position for 20 seconds. And 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we change over to the other side. So bringing the other leg in front of the body, pushing your back hip down to the ground, and then lowering that chest down to the ground as well. Got a 20-second hold. Relax into this position, deep breaths in and out. And 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come out of that position and we're going to go into some lunges. So for the lunges, we're going to bring the left leg forward first. Hips should be square, and we're going to come into our first lunge position. So we should have a right angle with the foot and the knee in the front. The back hip should be pressed down to the ground, chest should be up, resting the hands on the leg. And just try and push that hip down to the ground. So we're going to hold each position for about 10 to 15 seconds. And we're going to come into a reverse low lunge, straightening the front leg, flexing the front foot, chest is coming down towards that front leg. So you should feel that behind the back of the hamstring, the knee, the calf. And we're going to come back into this forward lunge. This time you get the option to lift the back leg off. This will give you a bit more of a stretch because you'll be able to then push that hip all the way down to the ground with that back leg straight. Again, bring the chest up, resting the arms on the knee. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dropping that back knee down to the ground, and we're going to come into a reverse high lunge, straightening both legs, bring that chest down towards the front leg. And relax, and we're going to change sides. So bring the right leg in front of you, coming into a lunge. So bring the chest forwards. There should be a right angle again with that knee and the foot on the ground. And then resting the hands on the leg, chest should be up, pushing that back hip down to the ground. And we're going to come into that reverse low lunge, straightening the front leg, flexing the front foot, chest is coming down to the front leg, reaching the hands beyond the foot if you can. Try and keep that front leg straight. Coming back into our forwards lunge, this time back knee off the ground, chest coming up, arms resting on the leg, trying to push that back hip down to the ground. So this one's a little bit more difficult to balance. And dropping that back knee down to the ground, coming into our reverse high lunge, straightening both legs, chest down towards that front leg. Again, you'll probably feel the stretching behind the back of the hamstring. And relax, and we're just going to drop into our back and come into a PNF stretch. So starting on your back, you're going to lift the left leg up to the air, and you're going to pull that leg as far back as you can until you can feel the stretch behind the hamstring. The leg should be staying straight, and then when you've got to that point where you can feel the stretch, you're going to start to resist into the hands. So you're going to resist for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg there. You're going to relax and you're going to pull that leg a little bit further back. We're going to do the same, so resist into the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Pull the leg a little bit further back. Make sure the hips are staying square on the ground. And we've got one more. Resist into the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull that leg back and just hold. So for 10 seconds, trying to keep the legs straight, the hips on the ground. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very gently lowering that leg down to the ground. Give it a little shake, and then get ready with the right leg. So lifting the right leg in the air, pulling as far back as you can. Should be a gentle stretch to begin with, and then start to resist into the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Pull the leg a little bit further back. You might feel a bit of a shake as you're resisting that leg into the hands, and let's go again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. And we've got one more, so resist into the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax and hold that position. So again, make sure the hips are staying flat down to the ground. Legs should be as straight as you can make it. And gently lowering that leg down to the ground into a bit of a shake. So coming out of that position, we're going to come into a butterfly. So we're going to bring the feet together and we're going to drop the knees down to the ground. So you can gently press down on the knees, and then we're going to start to bring that chest forwards. And obviously if you can, get the knees all the way down. Some of you guys might be more like up here, and again that's absolutely fine if that's stretching. Just a gentle push with the knees, chest down to the ground. We're just going to hold for 20 seconds. Trying to get deeper into that stretch for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Coming out of that position, we're going to lay on our back again, and we're going to stretch up the spine. So we're going to bring one knee across the body, the other hand or arm is going to be flat down to the ground, and we should feel that stretching spine. Changing sides, so straightening that leg and then bending and bringing the other knee across the body. And from this position we're going to go into a glute stretch. So we're going to stay on our back and we're going to cross one foot across the knee in front of us, and then we're going to pull that leg which is in front towards the body and push the knee which is to the side to the wall in front of us. And we should feel that stretching kind of under the glute. change sides. So bring the other foot across the knee, front knee into the body, and pushing that leg which is bent to the wall in front of us. And relax. So coming out of that position, and we're going to go into Cobra. So we're just coming onto our front. Feet should be together. We're starting with the hands either side of the chest, and we're pressing up. So you can either press into the elbows, or if you're quite flexible in the back, you can go into full Cobra. So arms should be straight, trying to keep the feet together, and using the hands to push the spine back. Just going to sit back on the heels, pressing the shoulders down to the ground. And coming onto the hands and knees, we're going to tuck the toes underneath and come into a downward dog. So we're going to press the shoulders back and then trying to get the heels flat down to the ground. So you feel this stretching in the calves and the shoulders. And we're going to drop down to the knees, coming down to the ground again and into that Cobra position. So either half Cobra on the elbows or full Cobra with straight arms. Again, trying to keep the feet together. You can look back if you'd like to. And sitting back on the heels into child's pose. And onto the hands and knees, tucking toes underneath into downward dog. So from this position, we're going to walk the hands into the feet. We're going to walk the hands up the legs. We're going to curve the spine as we did in that pike stretch to begin with. We're going to bring the head up last and reaching the arms to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in at the top and out. Bring the arms round. And then arms coming back up, deep breath in at the top, and out, and well done guys, thank you very much. Thanks guys for following along with that stretch class. I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to see you guys back at Buzz Gym, and hopefully you'll be as flexible as me by then.